to truly find a person's breaking point. And everyone's got a different breaking point on a different day. And the crazy part is someone who's incredibly tough could go through, insane, challenges in life, might literally break with, the 510th bug bite of the night. And that could just be it. That's it. Just the rest of it's going to be a super uphill challenge. And that is what I think is a beautiful part of the challenge. I call it a beautiful suffering, because you're out there, you are in a way suffering. But what a lot of people have to remember is that when you think you're over, when you think everything's done, that's your body's time to say hit that 40% rule. And a lot of special ops training is, they teach a soldier essentially, when you think you're done, that means you just hit 40%. And when you truly think you can't make it, that is just your body's way of saying, hey, you still got a lot left in the tank. You got to keep pushing harder. And unfortunately, when you're out there with nothing, it's harder to find that inspiration. And it's just very easy to get into a negative mindset. And it's not really a judgment to the person's character always, as much as it is, can they bring positivity back in their life? And that's one of the hardest things to accomplish on a challenge like this is, trying to find that positivity.
Do you, excuse me, do you consider Naked and Afraid, these challenges, this show, do you consider this to be reality TV, or is this more reality docu-series? I mean, a lot more than what people may be giving it credit for, who never watched it.
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt, it gets categorized as a reality show. Well, I'll tell you right now, I've been on a lot. I've seen a lot of people, and it is 100% documentary, reality. When you're out there, it is no longer what we know as a reality show. And to put it in perspective, you do, of course, you have to film it. So you do have a film crew. Well, you as a survivalist are there 24 hours a day, no breaks, no time to you can't go in, take a shower, can't get away from the bugs for a minute. You're there for 24 hours a day for however long that challenge is. And the production crew still has a hard job, but they come and they get to about 8 hours, maybe 10 hours of filming this challenge. And still there is a lot of production, individuals that end up tapping out of these challenges. They still get to go to a hotel, a lodge, somewhere. It might be 2-hour drive, 3-hour drive every day. Might be on a boat, might be on a Jeep, but they get to get a break from that survival reality. And it's very hard to keep a steady crew of people that can actually, keep up with the rigors of the survivalist. But to put it in perspective, they're not even there half the time. They don't even, they don't get to feel what it's like to never have a break. And that's how truly, it's a testament to how tough it is.
When we look at the cinematography, the DP, the director of photography, that's capturing certain moments as fillers or add-ins for the scenes and where you guys are at and what you're doing. And we've got you got the lions there, and the elephants are charging, and the hyenas and all of this. Was there ever a challenge, if you can share from your experience, Matt, when you're hunting, when you're trying to get food or bathe or get water or do whatever it is that you're doing in a moment, or making your home, was the crew there in that experience, or did they have to keep a certain distance so you can really do what you need to do? Because this is really a survival moment, and you've got to get this done. You can't have noises and disruptions or anything else.
Yeah, well, it is a complicated tango, let's call it, between the survivalist cast and the production crew. And that tango has to be done in perfect unison for everything to work. For me to hunt, for example, I might literally roll and cover myself in animal dung, mud, everything, because I need to blend into my surroundings, get close enough to say take a warthog or an impala with nothing but a primitive longbow. Well, I'm not gonna. I look and I've tried to convince them, but I'm not about to get my camera crew. My DP is not about to roll in animal dung, even though I would like them to. It and so then I have the challenge of I need to now stay one step ahead of the production in order to stay essentially, in the game when it comes to hunting. So that might mean I have to set up a blind that is so good I can hide the camera crew as well as I can hide myself. I have to make sure the wind is right. I have to make sure if I'm stalking through the woods that I am not only quiet, but that my camera crew is as quiet as they can be, but that I spot something before, it can ever see or be alerted of us, because then the game would be over. And this tango happens all day, from just about sun up to sundown every day, to hunt, to harvest things. I have been there's a great DP was on the Naked and Afraid XL in Africa, XL3. Dave West is his name, and David, I watched him sit there getting bitten by flies, ants crawling all over his face. And he sat there with that camera as long as I could sit there until, to get a hunt to happen. And, having impala, baboons, everything, that can just alert any movement anytime. It was pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome to see when you look over at your DP, your camera crew, your sound guy. And they will not, that does not matter how many ants are biting them, mosquitoes, flies, the sun beating down. I mean, those guys are dedicated, guys and girls are dedicated to trying to document something that's almost impossible. And that is to go out and harvest something on a challenge like this, which is the hardest task to do by far.
Where you are absolutely correct, and I'm very happy that you brought this point to the surface, is the filming quality is superior. To know this, and I truly want to thank you for giving us more of the behind the scenes of really what's happening, to know that there's ants, there's bugs, there's no cushion really to sit at, how they kept the camera steady, how they did what they did. It is truly a testimony of how brilliant and incredible that without these DPs, the director of photographies, the producers, without them and without the dedication and the understanding of what they are about to do is beyond incredible, because that's more than talent, as you know, Matt. That's more than anything else.
Yeah, I mean, they understand very fast how real this moment is. I mean, you have venomous snakes, elephants charging. You have leopards stalking you. They understand very fast that this is no game. If they mess up, they could lose their lives as well. And they're dedicated, and it's an awesome thing, because the challenge isn't just an Everest-sized challenge to overtake, and quite often is some of the most beautiful suffering a person can go through. But it's pretty cool to watch something. For example, in Africa, when I was there on, I guess it was my fourth challenge, almost tornado, if possibly a tornado hit. In these other countries, there's no weather Doppler radar quite often. So you do not know what kind of weather is about to hit. And when it hits, it's usually, incredibly violent. Well, there was a storm that hit with about 100-mile-an-hour winds, lightning cracking all over the place. And right above our shelter is about a 60-foot tall sycamore tree. And these trees, there's thorns all over them. It is a massive branch that just gets cracked off the top of this tree. And as we're getting pelted with about marble-sized hail coming at us about 60 miles an hour sideways, trees are starting to get hit by lightning. Branches are falling down. and this massive branch falls about 10 feet from my legs. I look over at it, and on the other side of that branch is my cameraman and my producer. They are both just sitting there, dead solid, still, and and all I get is a small smirk from my cameraman. And this storm was just beating down everything. But that little smirk of like, okay, they're okay, we're okay. We'll, let's see if we could, make it through the rest of the storm. And that's the reality. I mean, that happens to be a reality every day. And it's just, you're playing a little game of roulette out there in some ways, because there's some things you do not have control of. Jungle, for example, especially like the Amazon, but pretty much any jungle, massive trees and branches fall down the size of as big as round as trucks, 100 feet tall, 2,000, 3,000 pound, just chunk of branches will fall down with no wind. And it's all roulette. You got to hope you're not under it. But it's at the same time, everyone kind of knows they're in this little battle together.
When we think about the food, what you guys were eating on there, one of the things I said to my friend as we were watching the XL series is the idea that when you're eating fish, game, one, they were eating snakes, another one was an eel, and I would hear the contestants say, that's good. Now, in my head, and I'm not joking when I say this, I'm thinking to myself, okay, there was no salt, pepper, garlic, none of that. When you're in that situation, in that position, does food really taste differently when you're in that and you're cooking that food and that's what you only have? There's no McDonald's, no Sonic, nothing of that. Does your mind really process what you're eating as really being that good when you don't have condiments and extra things to add to what you're eating and cooking?
Oh, 100%. So a couple things happen to you. As you're out there, your body goes into ketosis. As it hits ketosis, your whole body smells differently. That happens around, everyone's different, but it happens around 7 to 10 days in. You have now reached this state of ketosis. Your body is now transferring fats, into energy instead of the various carbohydrates and things into energy. Well, when that starts to happen, everything starts clicking. You can hear a little better, see a little better. You get into your primitive state of mind, and then something magical happens, and everything out there is a possible food. I mean, when it comes down to it, if it is edible and it's not going to make you sick, it is a definite, on the menu option for eating. But what's amazing is your brain sends off these chemicals to when you eat, you have these endorphins that are released. These endorphins tell you that is fantastic. It might not be very good, but it is your brain in survival mode saying, you know what? You're going to make this taste delicious because you need to survive off of it. You need those calories. And I think it drops the standards of what tastes good down a bit. But it also, everything is just heightened. Like I said, your seeing gets better, your hearing gets better, but also your taste buds are now exploding. I mean, something that would normally not be that desirable might taste delicious. I mean, I've had scorpions out there that have tasted like Reese's peanut butter cups, and that's pretty weird. I had a praying mantis that tasted like popcorn. I mean, you get these, I think, overload of sensations at taste buds that things that would normally be not the greatest becomes, incredibly delicious because your brain is telling you have to eat it. There's no way to give it up. And that is it's a beautiful thing, because some of these objects, you might just shy away from, and they're delicious. Now, there is some stuff you try to eat out there that is truly horrific, and you just, no matter how much you're surviving, you feel like you can never be hungry enough to eat it. And everybody's got a different level of when that happens.
For those that are tuning in, I want to thank everyone from here and all around the world. We've got Matt Wright. He is a veteran he was in the Air Force Air Force. He is a custom knife maker, expert survival instructor, and 7-time Naked and Afraid legend. I'm going to say he is the star of the show. That is my official claim of what Matt is known of and known to be of. We're going to play this clip real quick. This is a clip of you, Naked and Afraid XL, and let's hear what you have to say. This is from Discovery.
Oh, man. Okay.
This area looks exactly like some sort of horror movie where everybody's probably going to get eaten. And I'll tell you right now, I am ready to take it on. This is Matt Wright from Lakewood, Colorado. I'm here to earn my redemption. I've dreamed of hunting 2 places on Earth, the Amazon.
Holy sheep.
And Africa. And in the Amazon, I got to fulfill that dream a little bit, taking down a jungle peccary.
We are kings.
However, last challenge, I had to get pulled out from a flesh-eating bacteria.
It's imperative that you have to go to the hospital.
The bacteria can't be treated. To make sure I save my foot, I've got to go.
The Amazon hit me hard, but can't keep me down. Being able to survive 40 days solo out here is the most epic redemption I could ask for.
To hear that, what goes through your head right now, Matt?
it's a beautiful moment of thoughts of success, thoughts of failure, and just the testament of pushing myself, where I've never been, where I've never thought possible, and see what I can get as the outcome.
The seriousness. No, repeat that again, please.
I was just saying, it's an emotional journey.
The seriousness of how serious this show, Naked and Afraid, is. And please share with us, if you will, Matt, your experience is within, and I believe it was season 6 XL. Many of the contestants were having problems going to the bathroom, to where one was medically tapped, as they put it, tapped out of the competition, and he had to be taken to the hospital to have an extraction done. He could not go number 2. His bowels were not moving right. Did you experience any of that at all on any of the seasons you were there? And when someone does have that experience, what do you recommend for them to do?
For the most part, on these challenges, I refuse to be hungry. And knowing you're going to be a little hungry, I refuse to be incredibly hungry. And I make sure that I get food for myself, food for the others. And I probably eat more on average than many of the challenges, probably almost combined on quite often on these challenges. Well, because of that, I seem to have no problem. I know my body. I know that I can eat a bunch of protein, and that sometimes I have to take a heart of palm, something like that, to just keep yourself regular, keep yourself going. Some people, they go on the challenge, they maybe don't have much meat in their diet. And when they switch from those fibrous vegetables and things, and they go straight to just eating nothing but fish, meat, steak, steak from, might be impala, might be scavenged animals that they found, it could be anything. It often, starts to block up a bit. But then what gets you even more so on these challenges is the dehydration. Your body's stressed. You're going through a lot of changes. It might be 100 some degrees outside, and you have to drink water that has been from a water hole that sometimes tastes exactly like elephant pee. Ooh. I mean, it's no doubt not the greatest tasting water, but you have to boil it, let it cool down. You often have to drink it while it's hot. And even though you're drinking hot water, it's still 100 some degrees outside. Well, a lot of survivalists don't drink enough. And what happens is just, our human bodies is your moisture is going to get pulled out, used for your muscles, used for your brain. And the more dehydrated you get, it actually sucks the moisture out of your intestines, as it needs that moisture to get into your blood, to get in your brain. I mean, it's in survival mode. Well, when you do that, you've now sucked the moisture out of your intestines, and you're going to create some serious blockage. And it's not uncommon. I would say almost every extended long challenge, somebody or multiple people are dealing with this anxiety of wondering if their body is going to start kickstarting again. And sometimes they don't have much food, so there's not much, pushing through your body to create that natural, that natural movement. And it's only funny looking back, but at the moment it's very serious. I mean, you could get pulled into the hospital, you can go septic. There's a lot of problems you can have if your body's not functioning properly. And the best way to keep that going is more water than you think you'd ever need. And, and just continuing to try to find something to eat almost daily or as often as possible. And that's, the biggest advice I could give someone going out like that is drink more water than you think you need, and just try to make a meal every day. Something.
That brings us with all of your accomplishments, with all of your accolades, and thank you for serving our country, Matt. You and your wife, Brooke, have extreme instinct. Extreme instinct is where you can book a survival class. You've got the Florida fishing and survival. You can buy a custom knife, handmade knife, that you put your time and love, experience, and expertise into it. You can get jerky. Did all of these accolades segue into extreme instinct, or was this something that has always been but just became a lot more than what it was because of your time and your experience and expertise on the Discovery Channel with Naked and Afraid?
So the business actually started way before there was ever a dream of this Discovery, Discovery program. I started the business all the way back in about 2005, and I gotta give a lot of contribution to that. Is both my mom and my dad told me, follow your passion, and they never told, never as a kid was I told what I'm going to be doing in life, what I should do, what I shouldn't do. It was always, find something you love and do it. Well, I took my baseball career to get some scholarships for baseball. Then the arm blew out, and I thought, there's got to be something I can do. And I was like, I'm going to try to accomplish as many different jobs as I could, not because I couldn't hold a job, but because I wanted to be able to do most any task, from welding to installing technical equipment to running big heavy equipment. I wanted to be able to do a lot of things. And as I started going out and doing all these jobs, the one thing steady was a hunting guide. And as I was out there guiding hunters in the middle of the wilderness, I started realizing, I was like, this is something that is not work. This is a passion. This is something that is part of me. And that is essentially when I started thinking, I wonder if I can just, make this a company. If I can make this work. I never took proper business classes. I didn't know how to start the first thing. So I had to start reading. I had to start doing research. What can I do? How could I even make this happen? And I was able to start my company. The first ever survival class. And I started making, first thing I did is I started making some custom knives, but I would only make like 20 a year. It was just mainly for some hunting clients, and didn't know how to advertise, didn't know how to really get the word out. But I thought, I bet people would love survival classes. And the very first survival class I ever gave, I decided, the homeless population living along this river in Denver really could use some help. I'm looking at their shelters aren't very good. They don't look like they have any food. They're begging for money. And, knowing that the reason they're homeless could be any different thing, I thought, that doesn't mean they can't make their life a little better by learning some stuff. So I walked down, I got a group of the homeless population together, and I sat there and I gave them classes on how to trap rats, how to catch fish, how to make thicker shelters, how to make installation, how to even just take 2 t-shirts, sew them together, stuff it with leaves and make like their own makeshift down jacket. And as I gave that class, I thought, you know what? A lot of people in this world could benefit, but what I really enjoyed was teaching. So I thought, you know what? I love making stuff. I love making custom knives. I love teaching people things, and this is going to happen. So I started Extreme Instinct, and I had that company for many years. I had it even as I went into the Air Force. While I was in the Air Force, I used that skill set to teach some of the people I was in training with, besides just the survival evade training the military gives, to advance their techniques a bit with some very specialized survival skills. And then I even started making knives for various military members that were serving throughout the world. And my company was what I thought was pretty solid. I was like, this is working pretty good. I could keep this pace going. And then I met Brooke, and Brooke, now my wife, is got a degree in marketing and advertisement, and she essentially, she was like, wow, she's like, you did something pretty cool here. Well, what I didn't realize then was Brooke was essentially that flame under my fire. I had the spark started, I had a little ember growing, but what I didn't have yet was a true bursting flame. And with the help of Brooke, to get the website running, get people actually seeing things, figuring out how to do custom orders easily, it became a full out business. And so since right before I went on the show, I was doing a lot of custom knives, and now business is booming so much that Brooke and I have a location in Colorado and in Florida, and we take people on custom adventures, custom knives, survival training, motivational speaking, all kinds of things that lets us share that passion, further and further.
I'm looking at your knives right now. They're beautifully well crafted, very well thought out, very well priced. And when we get over to the Florida fishing and survival, I'm going to tell you, this is not my arena. I am not going to lie. The idea of, worms and fish and I tried it once, but I'm going to tell you, this is no bullshit. When I am in Florida, I've only been there once. When I am coming back down, and I hope to sometime this year or so, I would love to sort out to go with you and your wife, Brooke, for fishing. I don't know.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be big or huge. Whatever you think is best. I would like to try fishing, and I would like to do some fishing with you, because I truly respect who you are, to where I would actually take it more seriously, not to impress you, but to show respect for who is teaching me. And with you and Brooke being there, I would love that experience.
And Brooke and I, just to warn you, we're dangerously good at getting you to harness your inner savage.
Okay.
And we have had a lot of people that, like yourself, talk about, it's not really their thing, but they decide to try it. And what I do is, we're not just going to sit there and fish. And if it's something that's not interesting you, we can expand that. We can go out. I can be like, okay, we're not going to sit there and fish for small fish. We're going to catch a shark. Or if you don't, you're like, oh, okay, the shark was all right, but I don't know about this whole fishing pole situation. Well, we can literally sit there, teach you how to shoot a bow, and have you actually bow fishing fish from the top of this boat, shooting your arrow into the water and reeling in fish, with a bow, all in that trip. And you just never know. You would start embracing your inner savage. I get calls all the time from people we've taken out that call me up and they're like, I'm hooked. I can't stop thinking about it. I need to come back. I need to do this more. And I think everybody's got it in them.
Mm-hmm.
It's just whether or not it's ever been, fired up. And it's all about trying to find that. But with the combination of Brooke and I, it seems that I would say our specialty is, it's harnessing your inner savage. It's there. We just got to find it.
And you will be the first to ever do it, because I know I have an inner warrior. I am an Aries, but the idea of being a warrior in this manner would be very interesting to have that experience within myself.
Oh, definitely. And so when I met Brooke, for example, Brooke is, she is just a true warrior, in herself. She has 2nd degree black belt. She would climb these 14,000 foot peaks all the time. By herself. She used to ride horses, like mounted horses, where she'd shoot targets off riding the horses with her pistol. Well, when I met her, she never did hunting, really never went fishing. And literally she was like, she's like, not really, okay, whatever, I'll try it. Well, we go out and we do a little fishing. She was somewhat intrigued. She started getting a little bit interested. But it wasn't until I actually took her on an alligator hunt down here in Florida, where she shot an alligator with her bow up close and personal, and had that adrenaline going through. As she processed it, it was starting to build. But what truly got Brooke, I think, beyond the actual, the sport and the skill it took to do certain things, was eating the bounty of her success. And as soon as she tasted how delicious an all natural, wild grown, harvest can be, whether it be an alligator, a fish, venison, whatever it is, Brooke was hooked from that day, and there was no looking back. There is no way I can get Brooke to ever stop, filling the freezer full of all these, all these wild edibles. And at the same time, she also is conserving more animals. She's gone out to she's making sure she's part of these, these conservation efforts to get more animals, get more land for animals to live into. And because she knows that is a resource that is truly, an incredible one. And, and Brooke, ever since that's how she harnessed her inner savage, was essentially, eating from the wild and seeing how delicious it was.
I would like to ask, when are you going to be getting more jerky? Because I was going to place an order and you're sold out.
Our savage jerky's been pretty popular. We have, hopefully hopefully in the next couple months, we can, we'll be able to catch back up on these orders. We've got a book full of orders, and it was a combination of course, it's delicious jerky. It's all it's not like the jerky you find in a store that often. This is all natural, no preservatives kind of stuff. So it's literally just you taste the real taste of it. You don't have all those preservatives, and the combination of that and people that are just like, hey, I watched you on TV eating a bunch of jerky for 40 days. I need some. And the combination of those two things, we have sold a lot.
And I would like to say, with great respect, I know that there are people out there that have certain feelings about people who hunt and people who, do the things that they do in wildlife. I would like to say that you and Brooke both, I feel, bring attention and bring knowledge. You're doing things, I would say, and if this is the right way to put it, and it's the only way I know how to put it, is the humane way of doing things, the logical, responsible way of doing things. So for that, I would like to say, from you to the world and to what you have taught me educated me on, even by watching you on television. I see life differently when I think about hunting, when I think about, like, this is not a sport. There is such respect and dignity that you bring to the understanding of this. You showed it even on the show. That is why we're here.
Mm-hmm.
We are not here. You are here because of who you are as a person. Once again, I never in my wildest dreams or thoughts, nothing made any sense for me to ever interview someone of your status. Not that I ever had an issue with it. But
yeah.
you're very different from what I'm accustomed to.
I appreciate it. Well, I appreciate that. It and that's something that I try to I really express with this hunting world. A lot of hunters get a bad name because you have some people that are not what I call hunters. They're poachers. They're shooters. They're not a true hunter. A true hunter will literally, will sit there and shed a tear every time it harvests something. It will sit there and watch, beautiful animals all year round and enjoy what these animals give to the world. They'll figure out ways to help them have more property, more land, more resources, so those animals can prosper and grow. And a true hunter is truly, what they're doing is they're giving back more than they ever take. And that is something that, I try to express, through just the passions and I have for it. And I think a lot of people see it. I mean, we've had people from the PETA organization, right after I sat there carrying a jungle pig back from the Amazon, call me up, and I'm like, uh-oh, I'm going to get yelled at by somebody who doesn't truly, understand what hunting, is for a person in their life. And they cried on the phone, and we cried together, actually. And we're shedding tears for how beautiful animals are, but they cried. They were crying because they realized for the first time in their life that hunting really is a part of the human, spirit. And even though we can pick up stuff at the grocery store, for most people nowadays, hunting is still one of the most personal, intimate connections you can have with nature. And if you love to hunt, you will love to conserve, animals and be an advocate for conservation for the rest of your life. And and it really is. It's a beautiful thing, and I think a lot of people have seen it through that. And that to me it makes every one of those thorns, bug bites, bot flies, ticks, scars, everything I have from every one of those hunts, makes it worth it when you realize that you can change a little part of the world.
Any upcoming projects do we have to look forward to?
Nothing I can quite say yet, but I will say there's going to be I've done a lot of challenges, a lot of places in the world. But I will say there's the challenges are not over yet. There is plenty more to come. Sometime this spring, you will see more of me, and then after that there'll be more to come. I can't really say when it is. I can't really say what it is, but I will say that the warrior spirit, allows me to always get up, always push myself for that next impossible, incredible task ahead.
Well, we're going to have you on more often than not. You can definitely find out more about Matt. Reach out to him, go to his Instagram, extreme_instinct, and then definitely get on over to his website, extremeinstinct.com. Is there any other tips, ideas, suggestions that when someone gets on over to extremeinstinct.com, where should be the first place they should go? Where should they start?
Well, it's kind of start by looking around, to see what interests you. We do custom things. So when you call up, you're going to talk to either Brooke or myself. It is not that you're not going to be stuck to some third party person that doesn't know what they're talking about. You're going to talk to one of us. And but what you're going to want to do is you're going to let your creativity start going. Everything we do is custom, from custom knives. It could be in the kitchen, could be a hunting knife, could be a fishing knife, could just be an heirloom knife. We can customize, make it however you want, custom laser engraving as well. But then these adventures that we do are also very special. It's not just a cookie cutter, one-off fishing trip. This is a custom adventure that's tailored for you. I mean, if you want to learn survival, and then go out and fish, if you want to go fish and actually cook a meal on the shore, these are all things that we can do. We can custom make it. If you want to learn to bow fish, if you want to learn to start friction fire, any of these things, are tailor made exactly how you want it, and that's the only way to really, I think, inspire greatness is for you to figure out what works for you, and we figure out how we can harness that inner savage, as I talked about.
I appreciate you, Matt. If there's anything else you would like to add, please do. If not, hold the line. Anything else? Are you on TikTok? Is there anywhere else you would like for people to connect to you?
Instagram and the website's probably our best options. It's but people should never feel afraid to reach out and figure out what they might need in life. And I appreciate you having me out on your show today. It was good to get out of the woods for a bit and talk on the phone.
Well, we're going to have you on more often than not. Head on over to extremeinstinct.com, book a survival class. Get on down to Florida for the fishing and survival. That is something definitely on my bucket list I plan on doing. Order a custom knife. And then hopefully this year, Matt, you're going to be having available that healthy jerky.
Yep.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to Live on Air with Stephen Cuoco on Power 98.5 Satellite Radio. You can re-listen to this episode tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. And definitely connect with us here on power985.com. You can get on over to Instagram, connect with Matt, follow him, extreme_instinct. Once again, extreme_instinct is Matt's handle. Matt is an Air Force veteran, custom knife maker, expert survival instructor, and a 7-time Naked and Afraid legend and first man out survivalist. Don't want to miss out on reconnecting to this interview. It's been incredible. I'm super inspired. Once again, I want to thank all of the fans, the listeners of Power 98.5, the fans of Matt Wright. This truly has been one of the most unexpected interviews I never thought I would have, but I am truly honored and to have that conversation with Mr. Matt Wright. Keep up to date on everything Power 98.5, and power985.com is your place to go and become part of the family. I'm like speechless, so it's like this is different for me. What a great day! It's been a great day with Matt. Thank you, Matt.
Friend us on your socials and let's connect.